Okay, today is May 14th, 2018 at 6 o'clock for the Village of Stryker regular council meeting. Tonight leading us in prayer is Mr. Matt Dodd, the Stryker Police Chaplain and Youth Pastor at First Baptist. Mr. Dodd?
Let's pray. God, we first want to acknowledge that you are God. You are over all things, as Jesus taught us to pray, that you are Father in heaven. And so we acknowledge your rule and reign over all the universe and over our lives. God, every good and perfect gift comes from you, and you don't change. And so we thank you for your faithfulness to us. And it's in you that we move, live, and have our being. And so the things that take place tonight, we acknowledge that we can't do them apart from your allowance of letting us do it. So we express our reliance upon you. God, we thank you for the leadership that is present in this community and the various ways that these men and women serve. We do thank you for the community of Stryker and the many ways that you provide and protect us here. We pray for each person in this room and the things that they bring to the table tonight. You know the things that are on our hearts personally in our lives going on, and so we commit each one of these things to you. We ask that you give each person wisdom as they discuss and share the things that are on the docket tonight. We pray that you would bring unity of oneness of heart and mind, that there wouldn't be dissension, but really seeking the best interest, seeking to be slow to speak and quick to hear and discerning. We pray for strength in the leadership that's here, that there would be endurance, and you'd give them vitality as they go about their work. And we pray for this meeting tonight, and we commit it to you and ask all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Okay, tonight, Stryker Police Officer Lieutenant J.R. Treese, also a Marine veteran, will lead us in pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you both. That puts us into roll call. Beth?
Armstrong?
Yes.
Oberlin?
Yes.
Watkins? Sperling? Cameron?
Yes.
Tompkins?
Yes.
Everyone get a chance to look at the prior minutes dated 4/9 of 2018. Is there a motion to accept?
I make a motion to accept the minutes of 4/9/18.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
And roll call.
Oberlin?
Yes.
Cameron?
Yes.
Tompkins?
Yes.
Armstrong?
Leads us in the finance report. Before we go through that, that was dated 5/10 of 2018. Beth, do you have anything that you would like to discuss with them over what you put in the packets?
Just that it was a really good month because taxes, obviously. I think we brought
Depends on
in-
what side you're on.
Yeah, we brought in like 182,000 and spent 62. So something like that, I think is the numbers. So that was why.
Okay, is there any questions for Beth or explanations that you would like? Okay, is there a motion to accept the finance report dated 5/10 of 2018?
I'll make a motion to accept the finance report of 5/10 of 18.
Okay, is there a second? And roll call.
Cameron?
Yes.
Tompkins?
Yes.
Armstrong? Yes. Overland?
Okay, we're gonna go a little bit out of order, it's not on here. We are fortunate to have another member coming on the police force, and I'll let Chief Slusher talk about that a little bit, and then get to do that good thing of swearing someone in.
Yep. All right, well, good evening, everybody. I just want to introduce to you Adrienne Brown. Adrienne's from Montpelier. She just is graduating the academy this year. She hasn't taken her state test yet, but she's going to be getting ready to do that, June 5th. June 5th is when she takes her state test. So once she gets completed with that, and once she passes, once we get confirmation, then basically she goes right into a paid status. In the meantime, our plans are to get her going in her FTO already, bring her in, get her out riding. Now, obviously, she won't be able to carry, or I mean, she can carry a duty belt and stuff like that, but once she passes her test, then we'll be able to get her firearms qualled and actually get her on the true FTO at that point. So yeah, we're awfully excited to get her on board, and actually she brought her husband Matt with her tonight, and so congrats, Matt. Thanks. And that's really about it. Yeah, like I said, I mean, we're just awfully excited to have her on board. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get you going here.
Okay, you ready?
Ready?
All right, right hand. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
or affirm
or affirm
I will support the Constitution
I will support the Constitution
and the laws of the United States of America,
and the laws of the United States of America,
the Constitution
the Constitution
and the laws of the state of Ohio,
and the laws of the state of Ohio,
and laws and ordinances
and laws and ordinances
of the political subdivision
of the political subdivision
to which I am appointed,
to which I am appointed,
and to the best of my ability
and to the best of my ability
will discharge the duties
will discharge the duties
of this office.
of this office.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Council. Welcome her.
It's good to be here.
Here you go, Chief.
All right. Cool. I just need you.
All right.
All right.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. That's going to lead us into the communication section. Wedco Housing Study. Beth, you have been in many of those meetings. I sat through one as well, but you got the latest and greatest.
They're still working on it, basically, but the thought is, like, I put it in your packet, that's just the brief overview. There's gonna be like a big report when it's all done. It's a housing study in Williams County. What they're trying to do is, they've heard from a lot of manufacturers, Wedco has that, can't get employees, and for work reasons, drug reasons, and the third thing is housing is not readily available around here. Nobody seems to have enough rentals, enough housing for people to move to this area. So they're doing a study to see what each community, what's recommended in each community, and how maybe it might open some doors up to some more money. Right now, there's not grants for economic development. So the last meeting, they talked about possibly what they could do to partner private and public to come together, like manufacturing and government, what we can do to work to get development in the communities. So that's kind of where the study's going, in that direction.
So one of the big things is they're definitely projecting jobs coming to Williams County in this area. And the big concern is, where do we put people, where do we get people? So housing is pretty high on the list. You can go through and you can look, whether you look at some of the apps out there or you go to a realtor, they will tell you that the number of houses out there to be purchased are smaller than what they've seen in the past. The other thing that you'll see is, I had a realtor just tell someone very close, saying that they're getting 95 to 98% of asking price right now. So it's a seller's market, it truly is. And so hopefully with this report, we can get some ideas of what we can do here at Stryker as well. Any questions for her on the Wedco study, or the housing study that's being sponsored by Wedco? Okay. We will be getting more of that information as it comes through. That leads us into the next one in your packets. Just so you are aware, with the letter that we did send to the township trustees, we did receive a response back, and that pretty much stated many of the things that we did back to them. So it is a response that we got from them. Next, that leads us into the citizens. Village solicitor.
I have nothing, sir.
Okay. That took us to the Brian Times. Rebecca Miller. Mr. Terry Whelan, Stryker Heritage Council.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Well, each year, for anybody that doesn't know, each year we try to come up, the Heritage Council, because you all own the building that we're hold our meetings in and that we're turning into a museum, the depot down there. We have worked together very well on getting some things done. Just to mention some of those things, in the past year, we the Heritage Council themselves hung some of the photo displays, we gave some tours, we updated some of our software for our financial end and this sort of thing. We toured the Sturgis Depot. That gave us a lot of great ideas. If you ever get a chance, go to Sturgis. Diane Gorsuch lives there. She was from Stryker, but she was a Pujo. She can get us in there, anybody, and it's well worth seeing the way they've done it. They have a lot of interactive things and all kinds. So somebody was very generous there and donated a big wad. But you know, if you know anybody who would like to do that for the Stryker Heritage Council, my number's anyway. But these are some of the things that we have come up with this year that we'd like you guys to work on, us to work on, if we can. And I realize it takes money. The change from fluorescent, I know, quote unquote, you all don't have money. I don't think that's the Heritage Council's end of it to restore that to that point. But I was wondering about if we could write for somebody could write a grant or something. There are grants available, I understand, for some of that sort of thing on a historic building like that. So that was just one thought we had. The bricks repaired on the building, that's, again, something if we could get somebody to do that. Restroom update, I wrote that down because if and when we do open it for tours and this sort of thing, we'd probably have to get a little more handicap accessible than they are right now, but that's down the road. I talked to Alan about the hole. And if I am trying to go through Sauter Village right now, I know they're going to be having somebody come in and lay some bricks for them. I may finally get an idea of who could do it for us, but if not, if anybody comes up with somebody that could, there's not a lot of them, but we're tired of them being where they are because the kids keep moving, or adults. Somebody keeps moving them off the pallets and we put them back.
So we need to get them.
I'm afraid they're going to end up in a window or something. And the others are just a couple things I just think we need to, as village, keep an eye on, just so the roof doesn't start to leak and the windows and what have you, eaves. These other things are mostly things that we probably will do in due time. I know we have a sign being made right now by Mary Ann Creedy. We do plan on scheduling some tours this summer. We want to get the place open. I think it's to that point. So, and I'm here if you have any questions on this list to try to answer them. We really appreciate what the town has done and the fact of how we rent and this sort of thing. It's very welcome. And please come down and take a look. I think, and I'm prejudiced, but I think we've done a lot since we took it over 5 years ago, something like that. I don't know, it's been a while. We've done a lot of things with the building itself, with some of the fixtures and some of the stuff, so feel free, and if you have other things you think we should be doing, we can certainly talk about it.
You, Alan, you said you went and looked at that hole?
Yes.
Okay. What about the roof and the top of the windows and the east spout? Is that something you guys can just take a peek at and
We
see?
can look at it, yeah, if it's, if it's beyond our repair ability, we will.
Just,
Yeah.
if you could take a look
I
at it.
don't know that there's anything right now.
Right.
I want to make sure nothing is wrong where it's going to
That's all I know.
damage the thing. What about the brick help and placing? What are you looking for? Where are those bricks going? You talk
Oh,
about that a
what
little
we're
bit?
talking about is on the west end, the baggage end. That, it's paved there, of course, part of it, so we probably have to remove that. But then just put whatever brick would go there, and we put like the baggage card on it and this sort of thing. That's what we're looking at. They'd have to be, I don't know, I assume graded or something, I have no idea. But there'd be some groundwork before you lay them, I'm sure.
So looking to put the bricks on the ground
Yeah.
as it used to.
Yes, yeah, it used to be, from my understanding, even around the front and this sort of thing, it goes in long. These, we have the bricks were given outside of the town from the sidewalks, when we tore the sidewalks up. I think they're good papers, we should use them. Another thing, we did have somebody that did notice some bugs, I don't know if we can spray around there or put some stuff out. You have questions?
Any questions for Terry? Well, first off, I want to say thank you for coming and sharing this stuff with us, but more importantly, preserving that heritage.
Thank you.
Extremely important.
Oh, I'm sorry, but one other thing. I did talk to Debbie Sauter, who is Erie's granddaughter, and she runs the Sauter Village. And I told her, I said, we really fixed that baby up, and we, like to have you come and look at it, at what your grandfather gave us. And there's some things that maybe you'd even have some ideas we could help with, and I was thinking, don't put this there, financial. So I don't know if the Sauter family would or not, but at the very least, they may know of somebody through the museum end that could help us with some stuff. So
What's the connection?
I have reached out to them.
Okay, good, good.
Oh, the man sitting next to you, do you have any ideas about lighting?
Yeah, we have some rebate programs, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
Just happen to have a card, but.
There you go.
All right.
He's gonna be retiring soon.
Okay.
We want something that's not fluorescent and inexpensive, but gorgeous. That's not much.
And if Bob was sitting here, that's free and natural gas. Yeah. All right, thank you, sir. Next, that is going to get us to Gary Keys
Yes,
from
thank you.
Toledo Edison.
Good evening. I wanted to pass this information out. This is our, what we call our customer assistance program that we administer through the public utilities, along with Ohio Gas as well. It's for people that are on fixed income, low income. And this is talks a little bit about, like I said, people on fixed income, in case Beth or any of the council members get questions. We run this through either our customer service division or Job and Family Services. And also talks on the back, talks about weatherization program, and you have to be within a certain poverty level to, it's a free program for those type of homeowners. So basically it just like I said, you can contact our customer service if somebody's shut off. They can get their gas or electric turned back on based on their income for $175, and we split that between the gas company and Toledo Edison. And so that's winter or summer, either or. So be happy to try to answer any questions that you have. I think I've got a copy for you as well.
If not, I can give her mine. Okay, anyone have questions for Mr. Keys?
And they would just contact your office directly.
Yeah, the, actually, customer service, if you want to write this down, is it on there, 1-800? Be under, yeah, 447-3333, and they have all the programs. And, like I said, this is a public utilities program that we help promote, basically, to help our low-income citizens.
Beth, do we have flyers and other things, everything that you need to direct people to that number if they would come here?
Well, I'll just put it out.
It's
just
I'll
use this?
Plus,
put it
it's
up
on
there.
their, sometimes it's on their building as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're required to do that 4 times a year, so we'll send those out as well.
Okay.
Especially in the
I'll
wintertime.
put some flyers up there.
Okay.
But, yeah, Beth knows how to get them on with her, so
Right.
she knows how to get a hold of them.
Good.
Until August when I retire, so.
That's why I was asking you about the lights now.
After 33 years, I'm retiring, so.
So I think the guy sitting next to you is looking for you to be at this next meeting.
Yeah. He has my number now, so. But yeah, we have a third-party program that works with rebate programs for lighting, HVAC, heating, and air conditioning systems.
Do you have someone that weighs bricks as well?
Nope, can't help you there.
Worth a shot.
Can't help you there. But like I said, Beth has my number if you have any questions about the program or anything else. I understand you had a small outage this morning. Lightning hit our substation and took our circuit out for about an hour and a half.
I heard about that.
Yeah, so we got about 350 customers out for a little while.
Just have a backup generator.
Yeah.
Okay, appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
That would take us into the committee reports, which we did not have any for over the last few weeks. Old business. Beth, why don't you go through and talk about the CDBG grant for sidewalks?
Oh, I put in your packets, the letter that we did, had Alan do, it was in his authority under the 50,000 for the contract for the sidewalks. I put the, bid tabulation sheet behind it so you guys could see that, we got 2 bids and, Stephen Construction was the lowest at $32,744.80. So, I just wanted to make you aware and to have in the minutes that we went ahead and awarded something. We're gonna, actually Katie just has the contract book sitting beside her. We're gonna go ahead and sign the bid awards because, that project's scheduled to be done, July 18th, I believe, is the completion date. So we'd like to get started on the sidewalks. And I just wanted to make you aware of who got the bid, who will be doing the work.
So with that, when you talked about Alan can go through and do the bids up to a certain amount,
Yeah.
why don't you talk about that just a little bit? Because I know that changed maybe 4 or 5 years ago on the amount. Why don't you just...
Oh, it used to be 25,000. The administrator could only sign contracts of 25,000. It's now 50,000. It's his ability. But I think we pretty much are on the same page. We kind of always run through council. I applied for this and this is what we got. Our share of that will be half of that 32, 16,000, and the rest is gonna be the grant picking it up. And that's, East Curtis to Maple Street.
On the north side.
Yeah.
There is a section on the south.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a little bit on the other side too as well. But, that should be, I think once we sign the contract books, I think it's still gotta go back to the commissioners, I believe, Maumee Valley. Maumee Valley's administering it, so they kinda tell you how you jump through it and what you need to do to get started, so they're handling it.
Okay, any questions for Beth on that? I just wanted you to be aware that, yes, Alan can go up to a $50,000 contract. Doesn't happen very often, it usually, like they say, they usually run that through us, but under his title and responsibility, he does have that authority. Leads us to Williams County Land Bank, and I know that you guys sat through that just the other day. So, you going with that one? Okay.
Yeah, we met with Todd Burkholder and Vicki Grimm with the land bank, and they have there are 3 properties. 2 have been cleaned up, and the third one it's kind of up in limbo right now. They're taking bids. They're going to take bids, sealed bids, for the purchase of it, of the house, because it is salvageable. The other ones, they're gonna take bids for those 2, correct, Beth?
Yeah, after talking to them, they said, they were kind of going over the rules with us. They wouldn't just give to the village because in the rules of the land bank, somebody has to develop it within 12 months. So what they're doing, we talked about each one. Elm Street, the one on Elm, the first one, I think that's the larger of the ones. Their plan is, they meet again in June, the land bank does. They're working out the rules to advertise for sealed bids. And there'll probably be a reserve of fair market value on each property. The second property is Curtis. I'm not really sure where on Curtis, but
314.
that one, they're working on squaring up the lot, which entails 2 neighbors getting a small sliver to make it square, but there will still be a square lot available when they're done squaring it, that they will also do sealed bids on. And the third one is 213 West Church Street, and that has the house on it, and that also, they are looking at getting around for sealed bids on that. And there'll be a minimum appraised minimum price, I'd probably reserve on that as well. Because they have to give it back to the land bank since they got money from the land bank, they're just trying to recoup. They'll just try to recoup what their costs they have in acquiring it, basically. We also talked about mowing. They would like the village to mow. 2 of the properties, we are available to get $400 a year on for mowing, if we would mow. The third one is, we talked about they're over their budget of acquiring, but due to asbestos being there, and they asked if we would be willing to maintain it until they can do the sealed bids. And we were open to that because we'd like to see houses on these empty lots and not have Steve go out and have to post them all the time. So Alan and I talked, and we have a gentleman that mows when the grass is high, and we have it posted that comes in, and we'd like to keep using him for those lots as well.
So the big thing that we have right now is those houses that did come down. There is potential, and where are they gonna find out where they can go through and put bids on these, and when will that start taking place?
June, didn't they say June 12th was the meeting, somewhere around there? I don't want to quote it on the date, but I thought they said they're meeting again. They have to meet with their solicitor for the land bank.
So we're looking middle of June of when that should start coming through. And how long will they take bids? Did they mention that, or?
Well, see, they're a little bit different on the rules than us. If we were to take bids, we'd have to advertise It's either 3 or 5 times consecutive, I think it's.
So in other words, if there's
I think it's
questions on it, they
5.
just
There's-
contact them.
Theirs is
Correct.
only, they're only gonna have to put in the paper a couple times. I mean, it will be advertised in the paper.
So
for
just
sealed
direct all the
bids.
questions towards the land bank, right?
Yeah,
Vicky
yes.
Graham.
If any questions, direct to Vicki Graham.
And one of the big things that we've always kind of pushed is we don't want just someone throwing something up and just throwing rentals in there. It'd be nice to have families move in. But obviously, if I'm not buying it, I can't control who purchases and what they do to an extent. But the nice thing would be to have families come in and actually build and grow there.
I question, given it, what are the rules for us to get it? They'd have to have it 3 years to be able to give it to the village. I think the better route is if there's a developer or something that does want it, they are gonna go fairly cheap lots. It might just be a matter of informing people that, hey, they're out there.
Okay, any questions for Beth or Alan on the properties that the land bank has? Okay. That leads us into legislation, ordinance number 2018-02. It's a revised 2018 appropriations. This one we were looking for to bypass.
This is for, this kind of ties into our project, the water line that we're gonna be doing under the railroad. And the fact that I need to show that grant in and out, even though, that money doesn't stay. It goes in, it goes out. This budget, I kind of attached my worksheet to it so you guys could see. Part of it is the grant going in and out. The 56.9 on there, that I'm increasing capital. And the other part is, we had like 8,000, a little over 8,000 in our capital, so I just put the whole amount there. I don't know that it will be spent on the grant, but, I'm increasing our budget to be able to show that grant in and out in capital, and then I'm increasing the water to be able to pay our share, which is 58,000. So I'm increasing the water 50,000, the water fund, and then like 8 from capital. So that's the changes to the budget, is to be able to, we're starting to get, bills for the engineering of that project, so I'd like to suspend the rules.
Okay.
So that we can start paying those bills for the engineering out, which we'll get reimbursed when grant pays.
So looking for a motion to suspend the rules for ordinance number 2018-02. So motion.
I'll move to suspend the rules on ordinance 2018-02.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
A roll call?
Tompkins?
Yes.
Levens?
Yes.
Armstrong?
Yes.
Overland?
Yes.
Cameron?
Yes.
Okay, look for a motion to pass ordinance number 2018-02. For a motion?
Make a motion to pass ordinance number 2018-02.
Is there a second?
Second.
A roll call?
Levens?
Yes.
Armstrong?
Yes.
Overland?
Yes.
Cameron?
Yes.
Tompkins?
Yes.
Okay. Leads us into the village officials. Mr. Administrator.
With the update on the water line under the railroad we had talked about, Beth had talked about earlier, the grant money will not be released until after July 1st. So no construction until then. And prior to then, they can take bids, but they're not quite to that point yet. The guys have been cleaning storm drains. North Defiance Street had several plugged. Just normal maintenance on those. We did have a concern down at Dollar General with the high rains we've had the last, about a week ago. The retention pond was full, flowing over the sidewalk and into the neighboring yard. So the guys went down, I went down with them. We checked the manholes all the way up through where the storm water flows to the creek. Everything's flowing good to to full capacity. So I did some checking tried to get a hold of some engineers from Dollar General, which didn't get a hold of anybody, but looking in the past minutes, back, I don't remember the exact date, but when Dollar General engineers were here, it was brought up a concern about that. And he said the retention pond will be designed to hold the water and release it slow, which it did. And per EPA laws, regulation, it has to be released completely gone in 72 hours, which in this case, it was gone in 4 hours. So basically, everything's working properly.
That was where we got, what, an inch in an hour or something?
Yes, just a heavy downpour, things can't get away fast enough. So that's pretty much what we discussed on that, and I had talked to the landowner, and he was concerned about his yard, so.
Mhm. Yeah, I know there was several places in Williams County that were
Yeah,
hit a little hard
you
with
get
that one.
several inches at once, it's,
Tough.
yep. The banners, I don't know if anybody noticed the welcome banners. We got those up, and
That looks nice.
if anything looks if it looks out of line, let me know and we'll get it straightened out. Does anybody have any questions?
Anything for him? Okay, that's going to lead us into Chief Slusher.
All right. Well, we'll just go over the stats first of all. I believe that 111 calls for service are pretty much a record that we've ever handled in an entire month. I know we've been in the 90s a few times. I don't think we've ever broke 100, ever. And we ended up with a 111. So, yeah, things are happening. It's been, honestly, I mean, it hasn't been overwhelming, but it's been busy. It's been pretty busy for us. And I think the new officers that we brought on with Fairchild, Hope, and Howe, I can't say enough about these guys. I mean, they're, with the, I wouldn't say the limited FTO that they had, but, I think we made some really great hires with these guys. Really proud of what they're capable of and what they've done, and, with minimal supervision. Now, we did run into a little bit of a roadblock on over this weekend with the situation, but it was kind of a good initiative, bad judgment type of thing. But we're going to get through it, and but like I said, it's one of those where the officer was right on, as far as the probable cause, and just a few minor little details that we got to kind of work out with another jurisdiction. But other than that, I mean, I'm extremely proud of the department and where we're at and what we're doing. So, but as far as like within that 111, we had 20 traffic warnings, 2 citations, and 6 arrests. So, yeah, it's been fun, no doubt about it.
Long winter.
It's been a long winter, and honestly, I think that's got a lot to do with it. I mean, yeah, I mean, I was ready for some warm weather, and I know that a lot of these folks out here that don't necessarily want to go do good deeds for the community, they're ready to get out too, ready to cause some hate and discontent. So, as far as the first page, now when I wrote this on Thursday with Adrian coming on board, I mean, I was kind of like right in the middle, well, towards the end of the background investigation. I hadn't offered her yet, so I actually offered her on Friday, and she accepted. So that's why I don't have her information in here. But we are looking at a few other officers to bring on board from this year's academy. So looking again to get our part-time staff up to date. Hopefully we can we're not having any issues, filling shifts or anything. We're back to 24-hour coverage, and things are looking well. And like I said, I'm happy with where we're at right now. So I'm going to be going to the OTOA conference first full week of June. JR will be in charge. Last page, just wanted to kind of brief you guys. Just right now, Judge North has given everybody, and this obviously this is addressed to me, but he addressed every chief of police that's not on the e-citation ticket program. We do not have a single laptop that is capable of running the e-ticket citation program and the program that we're using for our recording system, Emergitech. My plan was to get rid of all of our workstations within the office, all the computer workstations. I think we're coming up on about 15 years since we've had an upgrade to our computer system. We've kind of patched it here and there, but it's been close to 15 years since we've had any upgrades to our computer system. My goal, or I guess my plan, was to go to all laptop computers for each workstation, get on the wireless network, because I don't know if you remember or not, at the beginning of this year, we switched over to basically a cloud server with Emergitech. It's been great. Man, I mean, I can't believe the capability of it, just being able to, add photographs, real time, making every workstation, whether you're out in the field, with the laptop computer, being able to access photographs, written statements, things of that nature. It's been great, and it's worked out extremely well for us. But that's just it. We're running off of donated computers from ODNR. They're great computers. 10 years ago. I mean, they're the Sony, Panasonic Toughbooks. But processor, memory, it's 10 years ago technology. And when we start putting these e-ticket citation programs on them, it just bogs them down completely. We almost have to purchase, I'm going to say refurbished. Beth walked me on to, what's his name?
Corey Stein.
Okay. Corey's, he's done West Unity, Edgerton, Eden, police departments. He's got them hooked into the e-ticket citation. He's got them all like refurbished laptops. He can get us good laptops for about $500 or $600 a piece. Now, I'm not saying that we got to go out and purchase 4 or 5 brand new laptops, but I think we almost have to have at least 3, one for each vehicle, and then one for at least each workstation in the office. I don't know. I mean, because like I said, I mean we're getting the date, the drop dead date where we have to be on this program. We got to save the municipal court money somehow.
Well, they should fund it.
Well, they can't, because if they go out and because they have computer funds. I mean, they're bringing enough money. They can absolutely fund everything that we do off the laptop computers. But Judge North apparently thinks that it might be a what's the word I'm looking for, Katie?
No comment.
Kind of like I'll go on record. I don't care. It's kind of like if the municipal court purchases police department equipment.
More tickets
Right.
to fill that.
So there could be
conflict
kind of a
interest.
conflict of interest in them purchasing equipment that is used to gain them money. It is really what it equates to. So,
They did provide the printers though.
well, but they got the printers off of a grant through wherever. Now, Trish Russell, the clerk of courts, was working on grants, but those are pretty hard to come by. And I think it fell through or whatever, but But we're kind of at a point where we're gonna have to do something. Because like I said, we do not have a capable laptop that we can use. So we may have to do something. I don't have a problem with taking it out of, my equipment or whatever. I don't know, we probably got probably 5,000 or 6,000 in there, I think. By the time we move some money around, and I think there is
We
enough.
talked about taking it out of, some of the capital outlay, and stuff at the beginning, at the finance committee, we talked about
Right.
getting the laptops. Now, are you talking about replacing what's in the office also, or the laptop would?
That's my goal.
Or the laptop would do?
Right, yeah, I wanna go completely wireless.
Would the laptop be taken with you out and about, or you're talking about having 2 laptops per
No, no, the laptop would go in and out,
in and out?
yeah. Yeah. Even though it was highly not recommended.
Oh, is that what he
Yeah.
said?
Yeah, his recommendation was laptops should stay in the vehicle because of all the hookups and put them in, pull them out, the little prongs can get bent.
Bringing it in
You know,
and out of your
whatever.
own.
I was gonna say, JR, how many phones do you drop in your lifetime? Okay, that's what I was the first.
Couple.
But we have to do something. I mean, if anything, maybe look towards, keeping what we have in here and then maybe upgrading those at a later date. Next year, a couple years, I don't know. But we have to do something in the vehicles by October 1. So,
You said minimum was 3, what is optimum? What would you really?
6.
Just 6?
Yeah. So figured $500 or $600 a piece. Yeah.
And this was the grant that you had applied for before, kind of.
Well, we had,
Tom was working
Tom,
on
yeah.
DMR.
Tom Deemer was working on a grant for us, and Tom's been awfully busy. I know his wife's ill and everything, and she's been, a lot of his time has been devoted to that. And quite frankly, Tom's on the back end of his career, and Tom's a great guy, he's done great things, for us and getting us set up, but I think it's time to kind of look at other options as far as, and Beth and I have talked about it. This gentleman that she has, that he definitely knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he's core communications course. I just knew he had done the other departments, and
Right.
I used him before.
Yeah, he definitely knows what he's doing. But I think that's the direction that we're looking to go, as far as that goes. So,
Okay, anything further for Chief?
other than that, I don't have much of anything. Oh, I will say that JR, we've been having some issues with radios, handheld radios. We're probably gonna have to, again, we always, us, as far as, public safety goes, we've kind of depended on Moore's Electronics in Blakesley for a lot of different things. A lot of our agencies in Williams County are shifting towards Mark
Bishop? Yes. Mark Bishop
out
out
of
of Henry
Pullman.
County, or Henry or Fulton
Henry
County.
County. Mark has worked with the sheriff's office quite a bit, getting their cars outfitted and everything. We probably need to do an upgrade on our repeater. I know that Moore's had come over and they looked at it, and I know we were missing a few components in the repeater. I'm getting pretty much I hate you mail from communications because our radios aren't working properly. They're awfully staticky and everything. So we're probably going to need to do an upgrade on this system here to get us through. JR's talking to Mark and possibly we're going to be looking at next year going to a completely different system. It's a smaller handheld device that runs off a repeater within the car itself, through the base radio within the car, which is a much more dependable system. I know the sheriff's office is currently using that exact system, and and they're finding that they got pretty good results. You know, again, we're probably gonna be looking at that next year. But again, for this year, for the time being, right now, we're gonna have to do something with the repeater that we have. I think so, but I think that repeater is probably, it's gotta be probably at least 25 years old. I mean, it was probably, they probably installed it when you were pulling hoses.
Yep, I believe you're.
So,
Another thing is,
when 83 was brand new.
yeah. Another thing Chief didn't mention is the radios, the portable radios that we have now, they've been discontinued. So,
And technically, they're not even designed for public service.
yeah.
So,
But we've gone to the length of pulling the batteries, pulling all the terminals off of them, cleaning them to the point where they're still working the same way.
So if we're gonna go with a new system next year, then why would we fix this?
well, I think we just need to ensure that we're at least covering what we have until next year, because, I mean, you could probably be looking at, you know, February, March of next year before anything gets done.
Why not do it this year?
Well, we
There's cattle prods and people.
we could, but again, I want to be fiscally responsible.
Right?
We need computers for e-tickets.
Computer first,
Yeah.
but as far as the repeater, those are fairly simple to swap out for whoever you
They
need.
gotta maintain their communications now.
Right.
They gotta have it.
I'm sure there's.
I just don't want to, I don't want to blast the budget in, you know, in that. I want to be fiscally responsible. But I also know that this needs to be done. So,
Yeah. Computers are important, radios also, that's our lifeline out there.
Yeah.
That's how we communicate. So,
Okay, anything further?
anybody else? Anybody got anything?
Okay.
Going once?
Thank you, Chief. Okay, that moves us into other. We'll start here on my right-hand side. I know, ladies first.
Okay, well, I have a couple things. The first thing I have is the building that sits down by Roof Landing on the opposite side. Who does that belong to? The one that's falling down.
That
the
is
place.
owned by Kent Julie.
Is there anything we can do about it,
Oh,
or?
that's the one he was gonna review, wasn't
For a long
he?
time.
He was gonna redo it. I think it's beyond that now.
He was, Brooke, he was gonna redo it before I moved back to Stratton.
Well, he's got your bricks in the building.
Yeah, it's Lexford.
But there,
I mean, it's just kind of ramshackle looking now, and
It
we're
is.
trying to beautify our community and keep it
I will check on
done.
that.
We're not sure it's in the village limits.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure of that myself.
We'll check.
I think the village limit stops just after the river.
so
So
he'll
it would
look,
be.
I think it is.
so Alan can look
Okay.
and go,
But
kind of get that process moving. Okay?
Okay. The second thing, I don't know if I can say anything, but regarding our letter here, our response letter that we received, I'm not trying to be insensitive or anything here, but can we make a decision on Rex and Bob's positions? Because just from a village standpoint, I think, you know, we have committees that we're not able to just go with right now. I think in that regard, we need to be looking forward to something. I guess I'll leave it at that. I mean,
We talked
just-
about that last month. And Katie, do you want to jump in, or do you want me to tackle it?
We can talk about this when we're, do you already have this on the agenda for some?
No.
Okay, well, I think we've decided, Lana, that, Rex can actually, be in the council meetings, just can't participate in anything, and so his position isn't compromised. He just can't participate in any votes or discussions regarding the fire hall. With respect to Bob's position, I think we gave him 60 days to make up his mind, so, and I think that's, we're at day 30 now or something about, so he has 30 more days, and then he's out, he's whatever he decides to do, so.
So that would be at next meeting, then we would probably be expecting some site of
There would be something there. We also entertained the idea of another 30. We did say, we did the 60 and then said with the potential of 30 if you needed more. But yeah, we clarified those at the last
Okay.
one.
Just, I'm open to it. I just think we've already discussed this like for at least two sessions now. Then if we're moving into another 30 to 60 days more, we're gonna be into July. Half of the year is gonna be gone, and we haven't done any of our rightful business, so to speak.
Well, we have, because with the last meeting, we went through and did those with Katie on her advice, and then I said that I would go through, I was hoping that I'd be able to speak with Bob tonight, that I would go through, and it's easier to replace one than it is two when it comes to the committee. So I'll have those, we're already in the process, it's moving from our standpoint. As a village with this, we've already made our statement a couple months ago, and they responded with that letter, so we're sitting pretty decent. Good, okay. Anything else?
No.
Okay.
I have one for Alan. We've got a sidewalk issue that might need to get addressed on West Allison.
Okay.
So we've got that one. And then,
What's the address? You know?
let's see, maybe 107?
Okay.
They had to dig up the driveway to put in some new water or sewer or something, and when they replaced it, they didn't get the sidewalk in there quite right.
Okay.
One of our neighbors tripped over it the other day, and I said,
Yep.
I'll bring it up.
We will take care of that.
And then the other thing is, now that we have those banners up, can we do something with the Welcome to Stryker signs that are at the village limits to spruce those up?
I can tell you that the same girl that headed up the banner, she's the one that she helped with this sign and the one, I think it was a year before, where she did some things. Was it 2 years?
I think. I was still in contact.
Yeah, I know she did something with the one down
There
by
were some
Gordon
things.
Street.
But, and that's another thing that we can possibly get with that group that was interested in doing something.
We have a group
Yeah.
interested in some community work.
I still look at that, excuse me, I still look at that one out south.
That's a tough
I
one.
really, no, well,
Tough to get
might
to.
take a six-pack and do it at night, but if you go down there, that'll on bolt and haul it up here and remount it in the city limits. I mean, I don't think to do that, so. I've looked at it. To see if I wanted to do it one time. I don't live in town, what am I?
That
My
might-
console's
but
not
that's
gonna,
something-
she's not gonna.
Get with that group that was interested, and that might be able to be added to that.
Grant Dodds in
Got my
charge
back,
of
right?
this is covered.
Okay,
That's right.
perfect. Anything else? No? Okay. Rex? Okay, Brooke? Emily?
Just one thing, I'd like to kind of remind the residents when mowing, discourage them from blowing grass clippings into the street. Mainly for two reasons, as Alan's saying, we're having drainage issues already, and that's causing part of it. The second thing is that is a major safety hazard to motorcycles.
Yep.
Yeah, it's scary.
Very scary.
Yeah.
So, I'm like, please, don't discharge grass into the street.
It's on Facebook.
Then I have one item. Alan, do you have anything extra? I'll go around this group. Beth?
I do.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
If anybody's interested, I'm just gonna put them out here. The Rotary, as you know, we joined as a corporate group, and I've been pretty much going about every other Tuesday. I hit it. for their meetings. The meetings are every Tuesday. If any of you would like to go, they're 6 o'clock on Tuesdays at the
Methodist.
United Methodist Church, which is Cherry Street.
Yes.
There's a meal, they have, sometimes it's just a business meeting, sometimes they have a speaker, but I'm gonna pass out a calendar. Ellen's doing the 15th.
So take a look at that calendar, see if there's some
If any
days.
of you wanna do any Sundays, I have May and June here. I'll fill in where anybody doesn't, but I'm just putting it out there that if council or the mayor would like to go any of those Tuesdays, I would greatly appreciate it.
I'll do something, I'll do something. So take a look at this before you go, if you would please, and help Beth out, I'll use some of them as well. The one thing that I do have is, I am trying to talk to a couple entities, whether that are here in town with the Summerfest. My plan right now is to go forward and have some type of thing. As of right now, the fire department said that they are not doing anything with it, so someone else needs to kind of take that bull by the horns and run with it. I'm looking for an umbrella to kind of fall under, not necessarily where, say in this case, I'll just look at Terry since he's here, I'll get to pick on him. Being part of the Heritage Council, it could possibly go under them, but it's not actually all ran by Heritage Council. It just kind of falls under their umbrella, and then there'd be a group that would run it from there. So I am in the process of contacting a couple of those. I've made a few contacts already, and see if we can't get something going, because everything I hear is that's too bad. It was really starting to come around and be a nice day for strikers. So we are pushing to, or I am kind of pushing to get that. So if someone is interested in helping with that push, that would be great. I'm not looking for someone to just take it and just run all by yourself with it. We want to get a group of people to do that, but we need to fall under somebody with that. So that is all that I have on that portion. Make sure you look at that calendar, and that leads us into adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Real quick, Mr. Mayor, I'm gonna add a note to that.
Okay.
What I've been hearing, August 24th will be the first night of the football game, right?
First football game, yes.
Those 2 days, Friday and Saturday, are gonna be busy, I guess, so I think it's time to have that.
Okay.
We want people to come.
Yep, okay. Sounds like a volunteer right there to help with that committee. All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
And roll call, Beth.
Armstrong?
Yeah.
Overland? Levin?
Yes.
Cameron?
Yes.
Tompkins?
Yes.
All right, go.